Okay, so it's June 2024 and today we're going to show you how you can do essential maintenance on your Fire TV Stick or Fire TV Cube. This is something every Fire Stick or Cube owner should know and should do on a regular basis. Now, I have done videos on this in the past, but times have changed, menus have changed, settings have changed in some cases, and new users have come on board. So it's worth looking at this video if you think you know it all and you've seen it all before, because you might just find something out that you didn't know. Stick around, all the details coming up shortly. Don't forget to like this video, share it and subscribe to my channel. Doing these three things help us make more great videos for you. So as I say, this is an updated guide, a refresher for everybody to show you how you can do essential maintenance on your Fire Stick or Cube. So first of all, making sure that your Fire Stick is up to date. Now, quite often the Fire Stick should automatically update apps. As you can see there, it just popped up that two app updates have become available. Those will get updated automatically. Amazon will also update your Fire Stick automatically, but it may be that you haven't turned your Fire Stick on for a while and you want to double check and just make sure that you have all the latest updates that are going to protect you against all the nasties out there. Also to make sure that all your apps run as smooth as they can. Now, some of you are going to say, don't update your Fire Stick because it's going to introduce new blocks on there from Amazon. But to be quite honest with you, I don't know a way of stopping the updates from coming through automatically. And you're going to get them at some point. But as I say, you might want to make sure that your stick is up to date if you haven't used your Fire Stick for a while. So what you do is you go across to the settings cog just over there on the right, go down and across to My Fire TV, middle button on the remote, and then go into About and then go down to Install Update or check for updates. I've got Install Update because straight away it said there is an update available, and it says the update will automatically begin the next time your Amazon Fire TV Stick is not in use. Installing the update may require a device reboot. Press select to install. Now, well, I always tend to like to get updates out of the way because the amount of times I've been watching something on my Fire Stick and suddenly it hasn't realised I'm watching something and it's just fired off the update. It's been doing it in the background. It's interrupted what I'm doing. It's made things slow. It's made video playback jerky. It's even in some cases stopped playback while it's installing the update, or I've had problems until I actually get the update through. I'm going to press the middle button on the remote control with Install Update highlighted, as it says there, installing update, and it's powering off to do the update and it's going to restart. I'll let it restart and then you'll probably see when it restarts, you'll probably see this. Please do not unplug the power cable during the update, and make sure you don't do this. If this hangs at all at any point, leave it. Just leave it for as long as possible. If it hangs for a long period of time, don't be tempted to unplug the power cable. If you have to, leave it overnight, because unplugging the power cable, disrupting the power supply during an update will make matters 100 times worse. Leave this for as long as you can. It's now going to update. That little white line should go from left to right. It's going to the right slowly. Just be patient with it. I'm going to pause this video and we're going to come back to it when it's nearing the end of the update. Okay, so as you can see, the white line just made it to the end there and the Fire Stick is rebooting once more. As we can see, the Fire TV logo has appeared now. You often find once you've done an update after the Fire Stick restarts, it may take a lot longer to start up than normal. Quite often I've found at this part here, the little fiery thing seems to go from left to right a lot more than what it does normally, and that is because it's processing the update in the background. So again, please be patient with it. Okay, so that finally went through. It did hang there for about 3 to 4 minutes doing that left to right thing. I was going to make you wait for it, but I ended up pausing the video in the end and starting it again when it got near to the end of the update. So once you get back to this screen, then the best thing to do is just to go across to the settings cog over there, go down and again across to My Fire TV, middle button, go into About and then down, and you might see that it's downloading another update. But if you don't, if it's got check for updates on the screen, then highlight check for updates and press the middle button on the remote control. So I'm just going to install another update just by pressing the middle button. So just follow whatever happens on the screen. Okay, so we're back to this screen here where it's got check for updates. I'm just going to make sure that's still highlighted, middle button on the remote control. So just keep doing this, just keep coming back and checking for updates until it comes to a point where it tells you that your Fire TV stick is up to date. So follow these through, and there you go, it's telling me to install the update. So I'm going to press the middle button on the remote control again to install it, and once again it says might take a few minutes, don't press any buttons on the Fire TV remote. Okay, so again we're back to this screen here where it says check for updates. So again, middle button on the remote control, and there you go, finally you'll see there it says your Fire TV is up to date. And once it's done that, it means that hopefully all the updates have been installed. I mean, if you really want to, what you can do is just go back one and then go to restart your Fire TV stick or cube, let it restart, and then once it's restarted you want to go across again to the settings cog and then go down to across to My Fire TV, middle button, go into About and then down to check for updates, middle button on the remote, and just see if there are any more outstanding updates lurking in the background. As I say, as soon as it says your Fire TV is up to date after a restart, then I don't think there'll be any more updates for the moment. Next thing to do is, if you didn't have to restart your Fire Stick, press the back button once and then go down to restart, middle button on the remote control, and then go across to restart, middle button again. Restarting will help clear out the temporary memory and really help speed up your Fire Stick. Once it's restarted, go across again to the settings cog just over on the right, and then go down and across to account and profile settings, middle button, and then go down to sync Amazon content, middle button. And this means if you've got anything you've purchased from Amazon, it will synchronize it to the Fire Stick or cube. Then press the back button once, go across to network, middle button, then press the play pause button on your remote. This will check for any problems with regards to your Wi-Fi and hopefully give you advice under recommendations. At the moment there it's telling me to run a speed test, so let's just do that. Highlight run speed test at the bottom, middle button, and then middle button again. And this bit might take a few seconds, so just be patient. My speed test has finished and it's told me my internet speed, which is about what I get anyway, 29.99 megabits. And it now tells me under recommendations, based on your latest speed test results, your internet speed can support up to 4K video streaming without interruptions. So it's all looking good for me, but if you have got any other recommendations under there, then follow that advice. Back button on the remote twice, then go across to display and audio, middle button, go down to screensaver, and I would recommend turning off the screensaver. So go down to start time, middle button, and go down to never, middle button. You've got the option there to turn off the date and clock if you want, and display info, turn that off as well. I like to do that. Less processing power is needed when you turn all this lot off. Back button once, go down to display, make sure that the video resolution is a good match for your TV. So if you've got a 4K TV, then make sure that it shows up to 4K Ultra HD. If you've got an HD TV, then make sure it says either 1080p or 720. If it doesn't, middle button on the remote, and you can manually select the resolutions from here. Back button once. The rest of these settings I think you can leave as is, apart from calibrate display. Go into that and just make sure that the arrows point to the edge of your screen. If they don't, then use the up and down arrow buttons on your remote control to adjust the arrows so that they do go to the edge of the screen. And once you've got the arrows pointing right to the edge of the screen, middle button, and that will save those settings. Your dynamic range settings should be always HDR, but if you're noticing that the colours aren't right on some programs or things are a bit dark, then try adaptive or disable HDR. Keep pressing the back button until you get back to here. Go down to audio, navigation sounds, I'd always say turn those off. Surround sound, make sure that's set to best available, but if you are having trouble with your sound, then just try these different options here and see which one suits you you the best. If you go into advanced audio, you've got volume leveler and dialogue enhancer. Now this levels the volume out and should make dialogue easier to understand if you've got both of these switched on. Doesn't always work though, but again, fiddle about with these settings as and if you need to. Back button on the remote, go to AV sync tuning and just make sure that every time the ball hits the paddle, you hear a beep. If you don't, if it's out of sync, then you can use the left and right parts of the circle on the remote control to recalibrate the sound, and then go up to apply or middle button on the remote once you've set them to the correct level. Press the back button to come out of that, and then back button again. If you want your TV to control the Firestick or the Firestick to control the TV, then turn on HDMI CEC device control. Back button once, and then go across to applications, go into App Store. Automatic updates for apps should be turned on. External market links, I would say set this to ask before opening. In-app purchases, if you don't want to be spending more money on apps, then turn in-app purchases off. This is where children can play games and there could be extras that you can buy to enhance the game. Turn that off unless you really need it. If you've got any subscriptions in the App Store, then go to amazon.co.uk or amazon.com/App Store subscriptions and just check all of your subscriptions are applicable. Simple sign in. If you've got apps that are compatible with the Amazon App Store's simple sign-in process, then turn this on and you won't need to sign in separately for those apps. Notifications. Do you really want notifications about apps coming up in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen? If you don't, turn that off. Back button once, go to Amazon Photos. Now here, do you use Amazon Photos at all? If you don't, then you can turn both of these off, like allow guest connection to turn that off and disable Amazon Photos and disable again. Automatic offload. This is a fairly new feature, and what it does is it automatically offloads apps that you've downloaded only from the Amazon App Store when you haven't used them for a while. Handy if you want to save space, but annoying if it starts offloading apps that you do use on a regular basis automatically when you don't want them offloaded. So this is up to you. I'd say if you're quite happy with managing apps yourself, then turn that off. But if you're terrible at managing apps and you've got loads of apps on here that you haven't used in a while and you want to save space, then keep it on. Next thing you want to do is go down to manage installed applications. Go through this list of applications, and if there are any applications you don't use, then middle button on the remote and then either go down to uninstall them permanently, or if you think you are going to use them again, offload it. Offloading will basically uninstall the app but keep the saved data for that app, so that when you reinstall it again or unload it, put it back, then all your settings, all your sign-in information has been saved. But if you know you're never going to use that app again, go up to uninstall, middle button, and then just confirm it to get rid of it. And keep doing this for all the apps listed here. Now there's going to be some of them that unfortunately you can't uninstall. When you go into say Freevee, for instance, all you've got is full stop, clear data or clear cache. Unfortunately, not much you can do about that. So once you've gone through all of these apps and found the ones that you really don't want, just by either pressing the play pause button with it highlighted or go into it and go to uninstall or offload and confirm that, then what you want to do is you want to go and clear the cache for each of these apps. Now to do that, all you do is you just highlight the app and then press the rewind button and then middle button. So just go down to each app, rewind, middle button. The cache will build up again, so it's worth doing this every so often just to free up a bit of space. So the next thing you want to do, press the back button on the remote again a couple of times until you've come back to this section here. Go down to preferences, go down to privacy settings, make sure that all of these are off. You don't really want Amazon collecting data and showing you interest-based ads, or maybe you do. Turn those off, back button on the remote control. If you've got an unlimited internet connection, so if you've got no restrictions on how much data you use each month, then you don't really need to have data usage monitoring turned on. turn it off. It's just using processing power in the background. And you've also got here still watching. So this is going to prevent your Fire TV from using data when the TV is off. When this setting's on, you'll be prompted every so often, every 4 hours, to see if you're still watching. If you don't want that caption coming up on your screen, then turn still watching off. Back button on the remote, go down to notification settings. Do not interrupt. By default, this is switched off. I'd turn it on because I don't want apps interrupting me, other apps interrupting me with notifications. So turn that on, go down to app notifications, and if you want, turn each of these off as well, just by middle button with them highlighted. This, again, will stop apps from notifying you about features and updates. The apps will update themselves automatically in the background. Anyway, go down to featured content, middle button, and turn off allow video autoplay, and also turn off allow audio autoplay. These are the video ads you get on the main page of the Fire Stick and Cube. Annoying, but also can slow down the Fire Stick or Cube because, again, they take lots of processing power. Back button twice. And the next thing I want to do is, if you've got Downloader installed, we just want to check to make sure that you've got no downloaded apps lurking in the background. So go into My Apps and then go into Downloader. And once you're in there, then go across to Files just over there on the left, middle button, and there you go. If you've got anything in here, then it shouldn't be in here. These are copies of programs that you've downloaded, the installation files. They're not needed. You can go back to the internet and download them again if you need to. They're taking up a lot of space. So go through each one of these, press the 3 horizontal lines on the remote control, go across to delete, and that gets rid of them. Go to the next one, do the same thing, 3 horizontal lines, delete, and that gets rid of that one. And just keep doing this until everything disappears from this menu. So press the button to go back to the main menu. And then what we want to do is we want to download another app here. We want to download Explore. So type in the letter X and then P. And as you're typing it, you should see Explore File Manager. Go down to it, highlight it, middle button, and then middle button again to download and install it. If you've already got it installed, it'll open at this point. Once it's installed, middle button again, and then you do need to make sure that allows highlighted here, middle button. And then what you want to do is you want to go up to internal shared storage just at the top there. Press and hold the middle button on the remote. If this comes up, then just manage your options or go to consent if you're happy to. Press and hold the middle button on the remote and then go down to find, middle button, and there you've got a find. So what we're going to do is we just want to type in on this keyboard here star.apk. So in actual fact, what I can do is I can just go to delete, press that once to get rid of that second star, and type in there APK. Then press the play pause button on the remote, and there you go. It shows you all the APK files, and APKs are just installation files. They're not actually needed once an app is installed. So press and hold the middle button on the remote with the file, the APK file highlighted, and then go down to delete, middle button, and then go across to OK, middle button, and keep doing this for every single APK that comes up under search results. I only had one there, but that's going to clear up a bit of space for you. Next thing we want to do is we want to go back up to internal shared storage, press and hold the middle button till this appears, then go down to find, middle button, and what we want to do here is we just want to change that APK to MKV. Then press the play pause button. And again, if you see anything with MKV, these are video files. Don't need them stored on the Fire Stick. So again, they're going to take up a lot of space. So press and hold the middle button on the remote till this appears, go down to delete, middle button, and then go across to OK, middle button, and do the same. So go back up to internal shared storage, middle button until, hold it down until this comes up, go down to find, and then what we want to do is we want to search for not only MKV, but also AVI. So make sure it says star.avi, go down to next, middle button, and yep, found something there. So again, highlight it, middle button, keep it held down until this appears, then go down to delete, middle button, and then go across to OK, and that deletes it. Next thing we want to search for, so go back up to internal shared storage, middle button, keep it held down until this appears, go to find, and then go up to that there. Delete out AVI and let's search for MP4. Press the play pause button. Yep, there's an MP4 file, so highlight that, hold down the middle button until this menu appears, go down to delete, middle button, go across to OK, middle button, and then go back up to internal shared storage, hold it down until you see this, go down to find, and then the next thing we want to search for MPG, delete out the 4 and just type in G in 4's place, press the play pause button, and yeah, we've got stuff there. So again, highlight it, press and hold the middle button till this comes up, go down to delete, middle button, go across to OK, middle button. I mean, other things you can search for are subtitle files. So again, hold down the middle button with internal storage, highlight it, go down to find, and subtitle files, we can search there for SRT. That's another good one. So SRT, don't think I've got any of those on there. No, I haven't. But if you had any on there, those are subtitle files to go with films and TV shows. Again, don't really need to keep them on the Fire Stick. They are just taking up a lot of space. Come out of this app, so press the home button on the remote. Then we want to go across to the find button again and then go into search. And we want to search for Def Squid, DEF. And as you're typing it, it should come up in the suggestions below the keyboard. Highlight it, middle button. And this is the one you want, Def Squid, middle button again. Let that install. If you've got it installed already, then it will just open. But if you haven't got it installed, middle button again. And then when this opens up, go across to malware scan, middle button, and then go to start deep scan all, middle button, and that will scan all of the apps to make sure there are no viruses or malware on your system. If it does find anything malicious, then it will tell you in the pie chart there. And if we go down, there you go, it tells you what's probably malicious. Now, if you go into it, then it gives you the option to uninstall it, or if you think it might be a false positive, you can dismiss it. So if you want to get rid of any of those apps that we've just put on there to clean up a bit more space, then just go across to the settings cog over there, go into applications, go into manage installed applications, and there in actual fact, while we're there, we can see that we've cleaned up a bit of space just over there on the right under internal space. But go into manage installed applications, find Def Squid, press the play pause button on the remote, middle button to confirm, and also do the same for Explore if you don't want to keep it, play pause button, middle button, and that will then uninstall it. So there you go. That guide gave you some idea how to do regular maintenance on your Fire TV Stick or Cube. Now, how regular should you do this maintenance? Well, there's no hard or fast rule. When your Fire Stick is buffering a bit, or you're getting problems, or it's slowing down, then would be a good time to do it. Or you can set a note in the diary, perhaps do it once every 3 months, do it as a regular maintenance routine. It's entirely up to you. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, consider hitting that thanks button and making a donation to this channel. Or have a look in the description down below. We've got loads of great links down there for you. If you want to have a look through my Amazon shop, or looking for a VPN, or looking for a new Fire TV Stick, Fire TV Cube, or Fire Stick accessories, we've got links down there too. Buying, subscribing and donating really does help support this channel. It helps me to be able to dedicate more time to spend researching to bring you these great videos. And whilst you're at my YouTube channel, why not stick around? I've got thousands of other videos for you right here, right now, covering all sorts of subjects. Hopefully whilst you're here, you're going to find something to educate you, entertain you, amuse you, and maybe even save you some time and money. And if you do see any videos that you think your friends, your family, or your work colleagues might like to see, then please don't forget to share these videos on your social media timelines. Check me out on X, I'm at CWTEK. Also check out my website, it's cwtek.co.uk. Thanks for watching, speak to you again soon.